Welcome back to Cloud9 Academy versus TSM Academy. I'm Riv, that's Raz, and we are back at it for Game 2 in just a few minutes. Game 1, TSM was able to come out super strong and really show the playoff form that we have been seeing from a few other teams. They were able to do the same thing to 100 Thieves, and I did not expect it to happen so seamlessly again as they went up here against Cloud9, your top team in Academy currently.
Yeah, and the game wasn't as cut and dry as just TSM taking full advantage from like the early game, much like what happened in the 100 Thieves game. In the 100 Thieves series, that was just TSM steamrolling. In this case, I actually liked what Cloud9 did in the early game. It was just some of the skirmishes fell off, and then also positioning on the map for me for Palafox wasn't optimal. And so that's why I want to see if Cloud9, same side of the draft, picks towards like the 1-3-1 once again, because that's much harder, especially on an academy level in a playoff game, to play that out. I think they want to play more team fight heavy going into TSM.
I like it. I do want to see a little bit more team fighting. Give them the Callista. That's going to initiate more team fights as you fates call someone in or out. Tom Kench. So it looks like TSM actually wants to team fight. I mean, I say that jokingly because you take out the Callista, you take out Death Denial as you get Tom Kench back on the bench. It's just so annoying to have in the game when you want your fights to go your way. Sek gets banned from the blue side, Cloud9.
They don't want to deal with it, so that means that Aphelios, okay, Ornn is the only major pick that's up and available. So that's Cloud9 challenging TSM and saying, do you want an Aphelios for Ornn trade? A lot of teams would vie for that. But the problem is, if you don't value Ornn as a pick as highly, then Aphelios is just by far the better pick. TSM probably just don't want to be put in a bad Ornn matchup if they give away Aphelios and pick Ornn themselves, so that's just their priority. With Ornn being picked, it is flex to mid as well, so I just want to see if TSM has a pick for it to counter it.
Ooh. They did look at it. So yeah, Evolve takes his Zoe easy blind pick there. The Syndra is still banned on the side for C9 as they are once again on blue. And they're feeling it.
They're trying to fish for something. You know what one pick is still up and available that every team in Academy despises? Yuumi. Yuumi is a disgusting champion that stops Braum, Tom Kench, all these picks from coming through. So Cloud9, if they blind pick their support, be it like the Braum specifically, then that's an easy third pick Yuumi for TSM. So that's why you're seeing Cloud9 on the blue side just completely hold off from picking their bottom lane. I think they should still pick AD carry here, but it looks like they're just not going to opt in.
Wow.
Blanc will be picked up.
And it looks like they're really prioritized getting Inori's Rek'Sai over watching everything get banned down to the last drop from what we saw in Game 1 and Phase 2 of Jungle Bans too. So he instantly gets that Rek'Sai, which was TSM's final ban last champion select.
Another option. Go for your Olaf here. I think Olaf is pretty
right. That did get banned last game too.
If you're TSM. So we'll see. TSM instead will go towards support because they don't want support being banned out going into the second phase. And that's just Spica saying, hey, you saw my Graves last game? I have a huge champion pool. You don't have to pick my pick. Exactly. So that's a lot of confidence coming in from TSM.
That bot lane is going to have their initiation back once again. Treats, hooks were nailing everything. I don't think we saw an incorrect hook throughout the game. Even when he was caught out, the team was able to get in and win that fight. So Thresh gets taken away from Diamond. They still, even though it didn't do too much from hooks and creating fights, that lane that Lost and Treats had to deal with looked pretty annoying.
I would like to see a Rakan ban from TSM. Because I think Xayah Rakan is just so strong. That's why Cloud9 finds a lot of confidence leaving their duo lane for 4-5. Because they can just pick up the Lovers duo. Thresh is just a fine ban because you're going up against Diamond anyways. The easy one is just... I know Xayah Rakan probably don't have the best laning phase going up against Nautilus MF. And that's probably why they want to play into it. But as the game goes on, it's so easy to team fight with Ornn, Xayah Rakan. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier of Cloud9 opting towards a 5v5 team composition, make it easier for themselves versus TSM.
Yep. You can tell TSM wants to go in. They're banned out Tom, something that can take away deaths. Thresh and Braum are both things that are going to stop your initiation from going through faster than it should. TSM smells blood in the water after game 1. What can the answer be here? We're watching pick number 4, red side. It's going to be no.
Do we do a Maokai?
Oh, let's go!
Yeah!
Baby. The Maokai is
The
locked
tree.
in for Dokla.
Big Dokes wants to match team fight with team fight. And now it's a challenge to Cloud9 here. Cloud9 in the past have gone Caitlyn Morgana. So like Caitlyn Morg is a pretty good lane versus the MF Nautilus. Or they can just say, we'll just pick for team comp and go Xayah Rakan. Two options that are pretty clear here for C9, but alright, they're playing the passive one, Xayah Rakan. I wanted to see a little bit of spice, but I think it's just much better for the team fight comp to go Xayah Rakan.
Give me everything. Oh, there we go.
And it's just so safe.
All in all.
It's just so safe. Especially if you're going up against Maokai. I think Maokai as a pick is going to be a little hard here. It's really only for the LeBlanc and Rek'Sai. Okay. Because in team fights, Rakan and Xayah are so safe to really take.
Trying to go back to Games of Legends, and I'm clicking all for Dokla. 4 Maokai plays.
Yeah.
0% win rate. This is the one.
Don't give me that.
Feeling it.
I don't want to hear it. This is definitely the one. I have faith in the Maokai.
Yeah, there's the Xayah Rakan, though, as you were just talking about, and I was focused on picking up some historical stats there for Dokla. So he pulls in the Maokai, and we'll see how it plays out. A bit of trickery here, and a lot of movement can come out of this Cloud9 team. Didn't stop Treats from hitting hooks on LeBlanc and the rest of the squad previously, but it does look like they have a bit more to work with in getting into fights and making something happen.
So what I like about the Maokai pick here is that he's recognized the second way in which TSM can play their comp out. You know, they're going team fight, sure, fine, whatever. But they can also siege as well and stop the engage from coming in from Cloud9 side. They have a Zoe that can poke pretty easily. If anyone tries to stop that, LeBlanc in a flank easily can nail him down. And also, if they just have position on an objective like Dragons, like they did in the last game, it's going to be difficult for C9 to walk into them. It's going to be tough for Rek'Sai, I think, to operate if they don't get an early lead.
I'm excited to get into game 2. We are going to take that 5-minute competitive integrity break as we load up the game and make sure that everything is going smoothly and the players only have to worry about the play on the Rift. We'll be right back for Cloud9 Academy versus TSM Academy, game 2 of the playoffs. Don't go anywhere.
For him, for them, the evil curse had won. The anger and the anguish overwhelmed his fragile soul and caused a wicked tantrum that he never could control.
Hello and welcome back for what will be Game 2 of Cloud9 Academy versus TSM Academy. I'm Riv, that's Raz, and we are ready to deliver you some more League of Legends action. Game 1 is a pretty big barn burner here from TSM and an unexpected, pretty quick win.
Yeah, I mean, TSM just looked so good with their
Undoubtedly.
I think that coming into this game, what I would love to see from Cloud9 is, you know, when they're setting up for control around dragons and all that, just having Fudge rotate a little bit more frequently. The change for me, I think what they were thinking going into this game was that when they were set up for fights, they were dying instantly. With Set going the Blade of the Rune King build and Thresh just being naturally less tankier than the Nautilus, they didn't really have much of a fighting chance when they were set up. So they just found it difficult. It's not a bad comp by any mean that they had in the last game, but it was just easier to execute for TSM. So they're just trying to nip at that. I like the idea, and we'll see how Cloud9 can operate.
Looking around, pretty normal starts for everyone. King is going to go with that shield on top of Lost Doran's Blade. So just looking to expect a bit more of a hit and keep himself safe in that lane and just farming up. We'll see what happens with the jungle pressure too. Speak is back on that. Jarvan 3 straight games versus 100 Thieves once they were able to take the fight to him in their first playoff match. So he is back on big comfortability and even more initiation for the squad. And we're going to start it off pretty simple. A little help from Inori, a little help towards Spica on the top side.
All right. Riv, we don't get to see a lot of Maokai.
I like it. Let's do it.
I love it. And I was wondering if it was going to go Inspiration Tree just because of the mana issues that it can have in lane. He's actually gone straight towards Sorcery. I wonder if he's gone towards like Nimbus Cloak or something to that manner. There's actually a bit of AP if he's concerned about getting popped by Palafox. If he goes Nimbus Cloak, it's easier for him to just flash in and get an engage. That might just be the idea behind it. It's hard to tell. But I mean, overall, just shows that he's more focused on team fights, not so much on the lane sustain, because he's pretty confident going into Fudge early.
I love the synergy of how that go. Not a synergy, but I love how his abilities will complement him in denying Fudge the initiations, the brittles, being able to twist advance under a lot of that. It's going to be fun to watch when Fudge wants to go in for the fight. Spica getting a little handsy. He goes over and starts putting his hands on the chicken tendies of Inori, and only have one chicken tendy left. He is not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, tragic. One thing that a lot of teams despise if you're on blue side is the red side J4. Because Jarvan on red side can just pick up his red buff, just cross the map, go for a run to Tribush in the bot side of the map, and then look for a gank. It's usually so hard to fend off. You would need a ward early to kind of catch a J4 doing that. So C9 recognized that. Diamond and King completely gave up push bot lane because they don't want to deal with any of that. So it gives prio to TSM early. It's a good early strategy to just make it so you always have push bot, and it's easier for Spica to do what he just did there. Take away Raptor Camp. There's no openings down bot lane, then you still get an experience.
Looks like he'll grab bottom scuttle. And then Nori's going to say, I know what's going on. He'll grab a few of his own. You see if he takes him or he leaves one. Tit for tat? Of course.
Leave it.
Of course. Chicken was like, I don't want to go alone. It's not. It's kind of, that's life, brother. It's going to be scary out there on the rift. Fudge coming down. Great timing there, which actually just got him out of the way of what would have been some vision. Unless that was his. I might have missed on that. And he goes out, gets himself some mana so he can stay in the fight. Just continue to craft out on the rift so he can help himself. Dokla, the mana's not going to be in his favor. Like you said, you're going to have a few issues there as you're trying to farm under the turret. Maokai's not the easiest one to collect CS in a tight situation as the Arcane Smash comes through there. And we'll see how he handles it.
Even with the damage nerfs, the damage nerfs on Orin, he just does a lot. It's one of those concerns that without the extra mana, or just the potions to be chugging through, that you will feel concerned about both Palafox and Inori paying a visit top lane. But Dokla has been a damn good top lane to play around weak side. So if he ever gets an inkling, if his spider senses be tingling about anybody rotating top lane, he's just going to back away.
Oh, straight into the minions.
Oh, no.
That's going to be a little extra damage onto Palafox. Unfortunately, got distorted back in once the Sleepy Bubble Trouble was there. And we see a big advantage there. Just an HP for Evolved. Fight down towards the bot lane. He's going to battle dance in. Nicely done. This is a battle dance out. as they get back to safety here. A little low mana on the King, but you're not going to need that to farm under the turret as long as they can keep away from Treach's dredge line. Oh, he is just taunting it. I think they know it's on cooldown, but you're expecting, we're like, wait, does Treats have it again? Why is he doing this? He's the mind games from him. He's feeling confident.
Yeah, King and Diamond are just stuck in this lane for a little bit longer. They want to base at some point, but they're just going to continuously be denied minions. And Spica even being here, he doesn't have a mid lane, so like this is not real pressure for a dive. But the issue is now with LeBlanc basing, they will have a window. I think the window is going to be coming soon as well. That being said, they're pinging on Dragon, so Cloud9 is aware that they're either going to be dove or that's just going to be a free Infernal for TSM. This is just a tough position to be in.
I think Spica realized there wasn't an initial movement the first time he went through this brush. Diamond did go to check after the fact, and now they're going to use that to their advantage. The flag and drag anchor toss, but Diamond gets a quick heal. Battle dances back to King, and they're able to thwart that very nicely. So TSM, I wouldn't say wasting time down here, but not coming up with a kill right away on their first attempt.
I think it's only wasting time if you don't get anything off of this now.
Okay.
It's up to TSM if they want to go for a dragon or just catch wreck. Wait a minute.
Oh, he walks right through Palafox. Feels like the fight is going to be there as he also has Spica coming up on it. Anori's forced to flash out. Now Palafox is the one left with pie in his face as Anori doesn't want the fight anymore, but here comes Fudge into a nice twisted advance. Stops him from getting the Ornhorn back as he throws down the Nature's Grasp. Is it going to be enough? How is he still alive as we do lose Anori first in the fight? First blood to TSM. And C9 getting chased out once again in an early fight, and they may be able to take down Fudge if the flag and drag is there. The dodge from the Searing Charge is going to be huge, and this fight is finally over.
Cloud9 was getting frustrated. They were in a chokehold for so long, and they just wanted to push TSM off of it, so they challenged Evolved, who was making the rotation. And now take a look at this. They ain't stopping.
Oh, Diamond. They find him. He's in the rough, so to speak. King's going to be there as well. A flash from the last fight is still up. If he can actually get it to activate as they get to safety, they're going to still take out King. His flash is up. Anori's going to be the follow-up kill. And a double coming in for Evolved is you're right, Raz. They just are not stopping.
That is so punishing. This already feels like a done game. In fact, this looks like, vividly, if you remember the 100 Thieves game, where TSM gets a small advantage and they just pummel you. Because it was Rek'Sai who was trying to save his bottom lane, gets caught in rotation, and it was, Evolved calling in his own jungle. Now this is when you always have to all in. Take a look at the bottom lane in the minimap. Xayah Rakan have no way to contribute. And they're just getting bullied off while this skirmish happens in front of them. And now, yeah, Dokla should have died, but he knew his limits there.
And then they just, what do they see? Is it just the idea that one was there? Oh, they saw him farming at the turret. Oh, that's enough. Yeah. I was wondering too.
And even if Cloud9 fully bases bot lane, they just lose such a large weight. And that's the biggest problem here. If you just lose a skirmish through mid, that's fine. But you always have to remember what you're fighting for to begin with. Cloud9 Academy was trying to bail out bottom lane, while TSM were trying to just look to eventually dive that lane. So Cloud9, they were fighting for so long, and then King and Diamond just stayed there anyways, even with the lost fight. They should have backed early when they got pushed away from the fight from Lost and Treats, but they didn't.
Right.
Now this is going to be such a tough game.
That might have been the longest bot lane dive ever, Raz. It went to mid, and then it went back down to bot. Yeah, I like that point that it actually started there a bit ago as well. Spica going in, might have bit off more than he can chew on this one as he gets hit, but they're still pretty far ahead. Quite tanky. The Balmy Cinder and a bit of extra HP on him keeps him from going down. Level 6 to Anori's 5 currently, but it looks like we're otherwise matched up around the map. The big thing is that Treats has Alt and Diamond doesn't. That's a big one for Rakan to have. So they get a little lull here from C9, and that might mean that it is an Infernal here for TSM.
This is a blessing in disguise, honestly, for Cloud9. The fact that they were able to catch J4 pushing through mid, because it gave them clear vision that J4 was walking bot side. Otherwise, you lose both objectives pretty cleanly. Like, TSM should be able to get bottom lane Dragon for free, and then rotate up to get Rift Herald. That is a play that TSM should be able to get like 80% of the time, because Inori not only chunked J4, but got vision of where he was pathing to. Now you can trade for something.
A big part of our first game was a few of the river interactions, but also that bot lane push from C9's Rift Herald. They were able to get in, they played it textbook, and then stayed a little bit too late, not thinking that Doklu would throw out the Oran Horn there in game 1. So definitely a thing you can look back at for C9, to where the game took a turn not in their favor, if you will. So here we'll watch where the Rift Herald goes, how much position they're going to set up for it, and already it seems like they're going to be a bit tempered due to how the early game is played out, and that's not where you want to start.
Yeah, I think one thing that a lot of teams, especially on playoff time, will hope and pray comes to fruition is that you just don't have an aggressive team with an advantage, right? That in scrims, if a team has a lead, oh, they're going to double down, triple down, like quadruple down on a dive because they know that they have a huge item lead. But in, you know, game day, stage day, especially in playoffs, teams usually just try and slow the pace of the game down, prioritize vision, and that actually works well for the team that's behind. So we'll see if TSM decides to rev up the engine.
Yeah.
Dragon's going to be coming up in 3 minutes, so if they just decide to just keep the vision there outside strong and then just wait for farm, then C9 will at least be happy about that.
Pretty good discrepancies in CS with all the movement that we've seen happening. Fudge is about 10, 15 CS onto Dokla. Not going to matter too much for the tanks, but it does help if he can get to those item levels quick and start giving everybody else a few stats. Bot lane, Lost is able to get over King. We saw that giant wave you were talking about previously that hurt them, and 111 here to 96. Palafox feeling a bit more confident on the LeBlanc, but that also means you can put yourself in some sticky situations. Gets the flash flag and drag in to pop up Palafox, and now Inori doesn't want to be in the fight of Cataclysm with Spica, and the fast fingers from Spica literally just making me like double take on that fight. He is hitting everything, and almost Palafox with the paddle star to finish it off. I should say evolved onto Palafox.
Evolved right now is thriving in this lane because not only is he full HP and mana, has 3 flashes to work with, but look at this.
You just can't stop, Raz. There are fights coast to coast on this one. Again, towards the bot lane, in the top lane. The Rift Herald's going to go down. Dokla's going to try to defend this one alone as the Oran Horn comes out. No follow-up to go through there. And oh, it turned around. That was the ice shot. Throws out Nature's Grasp. Almost gets rooted out. The Twisted Advance carries him a little farther, and he is going to get Nori. Dokla, you're gross. And he might be able to save the turret in the interaction as well. Just plates coming up on that one for Cloud9.
Big Dokes, big trees, man. Making the pick work. I love it. Dokla is actually just so manly. This is the type of top laner your bot lane wishes and dreams about. He picks a tank for you, and he's still winning out there.
That's just absurd. Absolutely absurd from Dokla. Teleport's still there. He's going to be healing up off that arcane passive of just being able to get the auto heals in with abilities around him being cast after a certain amount of time. And he can, and like I said, he can teleport back. He's cleaning up a wave here. He's picked up the gap of CS that he had before and stopped the Cloud9's Rift Herald. The second time in a row, I should say a second game in a row, Cloud9 overall hasn't been able to really get a Rift Herald through another turret.
You know, it's sad to watch because when we came into this game, we said that C9 need to have an advantage early to make the Rek'Sai scene useful. Like, this is Inori's best pick.
Right.
Like, that he's known for.
Second
like, people
pick right away, too.
Exactly. He is such a damn good Rek'Sai player, and he consistently gets those advantages, but now come playoff time, has been struggling, and now he needs to be creative.
Oops. Spica might know he's done on this one. Flag drags into the Scuttle Crab. When you use the escape to enter, and that's where the enemy is, usually you're going down. Unfortunate there. Not too much of a bounty to pick up. That's really only on to evolve, but Cloud9 still looking to stop TSM's snowball, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, Spica's gonna look back at those 30 seconds and ask himself what he was playing for. Like, Dragon is coming up in 30 seconds. Why are you getting topside Scuttle Crab? But take a look at this.
I like it. Trying to put themselves in a dangerous spot, and TSM's going to like it as well. They're going so hard that they want that bounty, and that bounty is going to go on to Palafox. We just pointed it out, and it seemed like it was enough shine in the eye of Palafox to go for it.
It's getting messy from TSM. Like, this game, in their mind, it should have been over.
What is this
but they're
pathing?
making obvious errors.
Treat's getting himself into a bad spot here. Teleport coming in. This is Dokla. Nature's Grasp is going to lock the entire team onto the back half, onto TSM side of the map. It looks like they can route their way around it. Palafox might just die. That was his clone to it. And Fudge is going to be the lockdown one. They got a lot of work to get to the tank of Orin, and now Palafox answers back with a chain as King. There to throw out the feathers and try and pierce through the damage, or pierce through the health bars of TSM. Dokla's back in as he knows he needs to do it, and the twisted advance sets up the team for another kill. Again, King back into the fight, a double kill for him as it's just traded back and forth over and over. And now we're at that even game we were expecting. 5-6 here as Cloud9 pulled themselves back in.
King's got 2 kills now, and they've got a dragon to their name. Cloud9, when the going got tough, started scrapping. I love to see it from C9. It sucks from TSM's perspective because they were obviously making some real weird decisions.
Someone's not going to like a good play, right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, good plays come off of just bad choices. And from TSM's side,
again.
like, the one poor choice was Treats trying to come in with wrong pathing, got punished by Palafox. Palafox so far has been having a great game.
Yeah, to pull out the LeBlanc again and instantly show that nothing happened kind of mentality. It gets it to go. Seeing that clone get the heal made me look at it like, oh, a sliver of health. That's a play-by-play's dream.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? It's a mirror image. But the continued fight, King standing on the front line, knowing there would be support there, I think took TSM off guard as well. And it's just DPSing throughout the entire fight. Really good focus.
Yeah, there's nothing that Lost could do in that fight. Just watching him and how he was performing there, he really didn't have a target to fight. It was LeBlanc going in and out, Rakan going in and out. It was actually just so nimble from TSM side, or at least from Cloud9 side, that, like, you know, the MF is just feeling sad because you now have to burn your flash for a fight that didn't seem possible to begin with.
So it was a much different game between the jungle and the top lane in game 1. Now we're starting to get a lot of love to the mid laners and bot side of the map here after we did still have some top lane action, and it's really benefiting Cloud9. We expected the bot lane to be a huge advantage point for this team, and now that they're going a little bit, we can see why. They play with a lot more confidence, and like you said, Raz, throwing themselves under the turrets, but then again coming back to a fight where TSM would have felt secure. Cloud9's trying to play that unexpected engage.
Yeah, I think the mental edge there is for Cloud9 because this game should have, I already kind of echoed this point earlier, but it really should have felt over. Like most games end based off of what happened in the early game for Cloud9. But then TSM now has to do a full mental reset and kind of call back on what their comp is trying to accomplish because a lot of the fights were just not on their terms. So good call for them to be pushing up topside. Once they finally get the top lane per chip down, I don't think they need to commit necessarily. Send their dual lane back bottom lane, fight for the next Cloud Dragon, and start and, you know, challenging Cloud9 in team fights that they should honestly be winning.
Dokla, a little janitorial duty here on the bot side of the map. Nice arcane smash. Oh, does he pull him into a fight? Oh, that just was Rift Herald. I figured they try to take out a bit of HP. They say, all right, Dokla, round 2. What do you got this time? He says, I have a team. And they are on their way down. Cloud9's like, oh, never mind. We good. I love it. Good shot on that, though. Able to get the turret and basically the goal of being down there without using too many resources. So nicely done there. C9 continuing to open things up. And they're outpouring TSM around for that. So it helps they really get them out of position with Palafox going top. Here's a little deja vu. He'll be up here the rest of the time.
Exactly. This kind of reminds me of Game 1. In Game 1, they had the set who was split pushing alongside LeBlanc, so you had a 1-3-1 that was clear there. In this sense, they just want the LeBlanc to do her own thing in a 1-4, and then Ornn to group up. That's what Set was doing last game, but they just didn't have a real front line to tank for as long as they could. So this time, Palafox is pushing up top lane. You can see Emma picking up that wave. LeBlanc is now here to contest the vision. Now TSM, when they walk in to contest for the dragon, they're going to have to do it into fog, where C9 has all the vision there and they're going to be challenging. That's going to be tough for Treats to face check into a Rakan or LeBlanc.
I just realized they're hard running the IG skins except for King. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's that?
I don't even know.
It was a Kaisa. Oh, because it was, yeah, you know, this is where the community is going to be upset again. Because it was a Kaisa Rakan and not a Xayah Rakan. Tragic, isn't it?
Had to bring it up.
Yeah.
But also, just play the Kaisen, man. No, he's doing what they can. Also, the combination has worked out a few of the times to get them out of that range with Battle Dance and safety. Bow line. Beautifully done. Raise the cup. So we'll see what they can get themselves into here in the mid game. We're coming up on 20 minutes. Baron's going to be there. Another 30 seconds for our Cloud Drake, which has, again, changed the Rift. RNG, thanks. It looks like we are going to get a lot of pass movement out of this one. And again, could benefit both teams on this one. We saw TSM doing a lot of rotating last time, but the fact that Palafox is going to be other lanes, he'll love to be able to skirt around these buffs and objectives very quick.
These have been pretty bad base timings for both teams, but it's benefiting TSM here. It was Diamond that had based pretty late, and so now it's going to be TSM who's on the objective first, even though they had lost also based pretty late. But they're able to get the objective cleanly just because it was Dokla and Spica who were there first. So Palafox is just going to commit to the side lane turret, but honestly, they didn't need to do that. They could have been there to take the fight. So I'd say it's one step back for Cloud9 Academy and one step closer for TSM Academy towards the Soul point.
Yeah, because I like that point you made in the first game that these are basically going to be Soul games, right? We're seeing compositions that'll go a little bit longer, a little bit further, but these teams are fighting for the Drakes regardless of what they are so far. So you're getting a lot of tank out of TSM in these compositions, or more so tank, and now C9's trying to counter it with a bit of tank of their own in initiation. So I can't wait to see, once we do get that 5v5, who comes out on top. No just redemption rushes to say, hey, we need to stay in because we're losing health.
Yeah. I will say the benefit is Cloud Soul is the worst soul to have. You'd much rather have any other soul, which is not to say that it's useless. It's more so C9 can make trades and not feel nearly as punished. So, and also, like the fact that you have top lane inner turret down makes life so much easier for Palafox. Now topside, red side jungle for TSM is just a no-go zone. You can't touch that.
Yeah.
Makes Baron so much easier for Cloud9 to play for. So if we get to a soul point game where Cloud9 doesn't have to choose that fight, walk into TSM's vision, it's much more harder now for TSM to play that game out. So it'll be interesting. I want to see if that changes strategy a little bit for C9.
It's fun to look at it that way, because if you look at everything else, it's even Stevens, right? Right across the board, you almost have equal CS as we get initiation in the mid lane. Oh, you didn't want that. Charmed up is Spica, and down is Spica as he gets the kiss of death coming in from the side of Cloud9. And will they be able to do a little bit more of this? Fudge trying to enter forward. Treats is going to be the initiator, and he's going to be down next. Dokla tries to twisted advance on. Oh, he pulls him all the way back. Dokla behind enemy lines. Now, what a play from Palafox to double distort back. And now, if he is tanky enough to get himself out of the situation, it spells good things for TSM, because then they can also last in these fights. So he stays alive. Huge play there. The Abyssal Mask and the Sunfire Cape coming up. But I love the thought from Dokla. You send him for a ride as he goes in for the twisted advance.
Yeah, but just taking a look at how that fight even started. Spica was just thinking, you know, just like any other job, goes in for a Cataclysm onto the AD carry and tries to force flash off of him. If King flashes, easy now to go for Soul Point, because that's just going to be hard for any AD carry to fight into a J4. But then King just stands his ground. He's like, I have my heal, I have my ultimate, and I have my team that will just blow you up.
And you saw that.
So a massive miscalculation.
Perfect swirl of diamond right around him in the beginning. Spica was charmed, and then he was just like, who is going to touch my AD? No one. I can charm you immediately.
His eye is huge. I mean, has so much crit chance right now. His IE Essence Reaver.
And a cloak.
And exactly. So it's really tough now for Spica to play this one out. At least he has Stone Plate, but we'll need a little bit more.
Good dodge. Gets himself to quick safety. A double root on the way out from his feathers. So items are starting to be upgraded. Last game we did see the Ornn going with, I believe, a Sunfire and an Iceborne Gauntlet. And now we have that Abyssal Mask, as we usually see, along with the Sunfire Cape. So differences in build. Definitely know where you're going to be doing your damage and who you're going to be doing your damage to is influencing that. A quick sleepy, but no trouble coming after, as we're just getting a bit of a breathing room and a lull in the game here. 25 minutes in, Baron's up, but everybody's getting their vision down and getting ready for the fights.
Yeah, I want to see if Fudge gets to level 14 before the next dragon. We already talked about how strong Xayah was at this stage. If she gets, and she should be the one that gets upgraded by Ornn, that's just way too strong of a pick with Flash, with Ultimate. Cloud9's in a really strong position right now. And all of the kills being on Evolve is actually not that good. Because Zoe's the type of champion, especially if Fudge is positioning properly, that if she doesn't get her bubbles off or doesn't get her poke off at all, then the efficiency on her items are just useless, right? That's the problem of a poke champion, is that it's not guaranteed damage in a team fight. So it just depends on how C9 positions in a lot of these fights now.
And skill shot champions almost enjoy being in that fight when they get a chance to just look at Zoe. If she ults forward, he can just kind of throw Ornhorn down that line. You're either hitting the front or the back of the ult. What if you can hit her twice? That'd be fantastic. And just popped up all over. But it's going to be tough. If they focus her, you're right. Where is the damage? Everybody has kind of fallen behind or not been able to participate as much, which is just how the game is played out. No fault to anyone. 150 bounty along with that 550. So you're looking at a good bit of gold over here on the side of C9 that can be picked up. And they're going to grab that second one. 2 away from Soul Drake from both sides. Now a fight comes in from a searing charge on Fudge as he is anchor tossed. Looks like the Nature's Grasp is going to keep the rest of the fight out for Cloud9. And Palafox and Evolved go down to a sliver of health on the top side of the map. Weren't able to see it, but this is just happening in too many places for C9, it seems. Now that they've gathered together, it might be a change, but TSM was really able to just get C9 to follow him out of the fight. Great job by Evolved there.
This is going to be a long road back home, though. Cloud9 has to run that line, and Nori will be sacrificed as well.
Take me home. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Oh, help me! Team!
He's still there. Wait, he's alive. Oh, speak of flag and drag. The heal comes in. They definitely want it. The knockup comes out immediately. King! Taking the Krugs! I'm just kidding, brother. Krug life. Do what you need to do. Obviously, getting into the fight could get you killed, but TSM had that one figured out and won from pretty much the get-go as soon as Evolved had ran everybody for a muck towards the top of the fight.
So TSM was slow to even contest for this dragon. It's on to C9 how they take this fight. It was just a communication error in how they wanted to deal with Zoe. When Zoe came on, I think there was mixed calls to turn on her, but by this point, then you have suddenly like Fudge, who's just in the mix, alone, not really able to help the rest of the team out. And the team themselves executed poorly. I don't think it was very clear after they took Dragon who they wanted to fight, or if they just wanted to back away as a team at all.
That flash quickness from Diamond. What a flash coming in from the Zoe, from Evolve to make that not work. I mean, there's 4 people below you, and you flash ulted 1 person without result. That is definitely going to turn the fight in your enemy's favor. They're probably not going to happen again. Like you said, communication error. They happen. It does not mean everything is falling apart. And there's still very much a chance for either team to win this game. Cloud9 just has to do a bit more work as they start losing more outer turrets. The gold is still even, considering what's going on. I mean, you even see with that turret going down in the favor of C9, they are able to get their gold lead back by just a little bit. And with Fudge's action on the map, it's kind of where C9 had everything placed. I guess that makes it not hurt so much.
Yeah, you know what? The fun thing about either of these comps is that it really does feel like both these teams have a way into these team fights. The first team that gets the jump, let's say if you have control, if you're C9, you have control of Baron and it's TSM that's walking into you, that should be your fight to win. You should be able to blow up Treats pretty easily. Treats should be the one who's looking to face check, and he'll fall to Palafox, King, and Diamond quickly. And the opposite side, if TSM ever gets advantage on an objective, Inori is dead instantly. So there's just so much damage from a lot of these teams that really it's just about getting to the objective first, which is why you're seeing both of these teams over-prioritize getting mid-push and rooting some of these teams away from their objective. Here we go, though.
I love it. Let's see where the damage comes from on this. Ornhorn across all 3. He can get it back. It's only going to be a 1-man knockup, but Spica got out of that one. Alive Treats and Spica very low as they go down to 200 health each, and they are going to both be the first ones to fall. Fudge now on the front line as they assess the fight and figure out what way is the way back in. Inori over the wall with the flash onto the back line. Lost is going to have to position himself. There's the kiting, there's the fighting, but Lost cannot deliver enough damage. He still needs a bit more behind him to really hit these brick walls. Evolved, however, does have what he needs. The paddle star through the uprights, and he doesn't get anything off that. The chain's going to lock, and Evolved just gets out of range, but he finds one over the shoulder onto Diamond. Didn't think that paddle star had time to come out, and he still fires it forward. Dokla comes through to start picking up a few of these with the janitorial duty as he sweeps them into the bucket. Nicely done there, and an overall fight of just mayhem leaves us at 11-11 with a 2,000 gold lead for C9. Let's see it again.
Take a look at it started. TSM tried to dive straight into 3 people, but Evolved and Lost really couldn't find a way into the fight. That was Rakan canceling the MF ultimate. And when that happened, easy fight for Cloud9 to kind of move around. Here's the problem though. After this point, C9 should be happy. But it's Inori that said, hey guys, I have an angle on a Lost. I'll flash onto him, follow up. But it's so easy for Lost and Evolved to kite back that suddenly it's Cloud9 losing members off of this.
And in their positioning, they needed to flash forward for that. Almost 3 members. The distance that a Searing Charge and Inori can clear is much more than the rest of the team can follow up on, so it gets so scary. And Dokla says, hello. Remember me? I have teleport as he roots himself even more in the lead for his team. 3-1-4. Thanks.
It's that playoff adrenaline.
The fight on this
Let's go.
one.
We need more fights.
Dokla actually takes quite a bit in the early part of this fight. Can be deceiving for a Maokai as he heals up. Look at the heal he just got, actually, as it puts him back up way higher, but torn down once again. They brought the axe to this fight, and Cloud9 is going to be able to chop the tree down with the fight resulting around them. Also, a double kill for Palafox, and C9 bite back hard.
And the back end of that fight, Inori had his target and just 1v1'd Evolved. The most fed member on the team didn't have an ability to participate. Great team fight from Cloud9, and these are some long death timers.
I think
this game
that might be all they wrote, Raz, as they go in towards the inhibitor turret. It looked a bit more touch and go. We had a moment where TSM basically had won the game, early game, but that's never the idea for Cloud9. They always have that choose your own adventure, and they turned all the way to the back of the book and said, this was ours. This is our win. Game 2 will bring us to even in this playoff best of 5.
Here we go. It was that adaptation that paid off. Cloud9, like, game 1, hard to execute for sure. Game 2 is looking bad too. Like, that should have been a lost game in the first 10 minutes when they were getting slapped by TSM. Lost that dive in the bot side too. Like, there were so many early skirmishes that should have been lights out for Cloud9, but they scrapped back into the game. Strong team fights that made it so Zoe really couldn't poke anybody before the fight even started. You'd love to see it from the first seeded team right here in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, and they did run it back. Like you said, it might be that kind of mentality from the coaches, from Zix, that they say, you know, that's not really what it was supposed to work like. LeBlanc mid's still going to work. This is going to work, and they slapped.
Yeah, I mean, look, the adaptation in the draft was that they wanted the Ornn pick. They didn't think that, like, if Set versus Ornn was available, they would go Set, and they would over-index on side lanes. This time around, LeBlanc can play side lanes, but she can team fight just as well when Ornn is there to face check. So I think Palafox is showing, no matter what, LeBlanc is the answer. He's playing well in the mid game, and I want to see him pick it up again going into the future.
All right, we got a tied-up series on our hands. We will be back for more after the break with Cloud9 Academy versus TSM Academy for the 2020 Spring Academy Playoffs. Don't go anywhere.
Hercules. I have been expecting you.
Haha! And I brought you a gift so you can fight properly. Red Bull.
Oh!
How nice.
Of you.
But also
Rather.
stupid.
Mine.
Mine.
No, mine.
No, mine.
Mine.
Mine. Red Bull gives you wings.
Josh, you going for our Drive Safe and Safe discount?
Yep, using the app, driving safe. You wanna go, bro? Do not mess with my discount.
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive